Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
On a gloomy, overcast evening here in Baltimore, it is time for baseball. As Benjamin Moore presents the Wednesday game of the week. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the middle game of a three-game set from Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees lost 4-1 last night. Their sixth game in a row that they've lost, and they lost more than that. They lost their DH, Alex Rodriguez. So let's go right away to the injury report, which is brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art healthcare. Here's how it happened, Kenny.
Fifth inning, Alex Rodriguez with a chance to beat out an infield hit. You can see him come up lame about 10 feet in front of the bag. It turns out to be a hamstring injury, and Alex Rodriguez is headed to the disabled list.
15-day DL, James Pazos, left-handed reliever, takes over for him on the 25-man roster. Speaking of pitching, tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by People's United Bank NA. See what know-how can do for you. Tyler Wilson's going to go for the Orioles, 1-0, 3.06. And for the Yankees, it's CC Sabathia. Kenny, coming off a start where he pitched pretty well, but the Yankee offense didn't help him in Texas.
That's certainly true, Michael. CC kept the Yankees in the ball game. It was a 2-2 game when he ran into trouble, but early on in the game, he was on. Good changeup, good breaking ball. 6 innings worked. He had 5 strikeouts in the game, kept the Rangers hitters off balance, and then finally, he gave up this triple. Elvis Andrus to the gapper to right center. That's going to score the winning run as Texas won the ball game by a score of 3-2.
Right, so the Yankees try to get back in the winning column here in Baltimore. When we get back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees O's next, right here on Yes. Is brought to you in part by Benjamin Moore, the official paint of the New York Yankees. By McDonald's, in the city that never sleeps, it's always time for breakfast at McDonald's. By People's United Bank NA, tap your mobile phone, check your balance with Touch ID. And by the New York Lottery, hey, you never know. While the weather is not perfect here in Baltimore, they're going to play a baseball game at Camden Yards. Kind of misting at times. There's some umbrellas up. Right now it looks like we're okay as the Orioles have taken the field. So we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. No A-Rod, he's on the DL. Jacoby Ellsbury in center field will lead off. Batting second and playing left, it's Brett Gardner. Carlos Beltran will get the DH spot, and he'll hit third. Cleaning up first baseman Mark Teixeira. Brian McCann will catch. He'll bat fifth. Starlin Castro moves up to the number 6 hole. He'll play second. Aaron Hicks is going to get a shot now. The right fielder will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, D.D. Gregorius. And Chase Headley, struggling at third base, will bat ninth.
26-year-old Tyler Wilson on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. And he's worked out of the bullpen a little bit this year. He's had a couple of starts. You can see his numbers overall. Decent ERA, 3.06. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hello, Mr. Wilson. This is his first ever start against the New York Yankees. He's worked against the Yankees in relief at one time. He's replacing Ivani Gallardo, who went on the disabled list with a bum shoulder. And also a couple of years ago, he won the Jim Palmer Award, and that represents the best minor league pitcher in the Oriole organization.
Let's check out the defense behind Wilson, presented by Geico. Reimold, Jones, and Rickard left to right in the outfield. In the infield, you've got Flaherty, Machado playing shortstop again with J.J. Hardy on the DL. Scope, very good at second base, and Chris Davis at first. Caleb Joseph gets start behind the plate. And Kenny told you about Tyler Wilson. The right-hander is on the mound. Well, the Yankees come in at 8-16 on the season, and they have lost 6 in a row, 6 of 7 on this road trip. After tonight, one more game and then a homestand for the Yankees. Yankees in the middle now, started last night 20 straight games without a day off. Ellsbury's ready. Wilson's ready. Let's do it. Here in Baltimore, and the first pitch is a strike. We're underway. Chris Guccione is the home plate umpire. David Rackley at first. Larry Vanover at second. Alfonso Marquez is the third base ump.
Now, Wilson was a 10th round pick out of the University of Virginia. He has a degree in biology. Wants to be a doctor.
And his nickname is Doc.
Yeah.
The 1-1.
He said he thought he'd give baseball a try first. A 10th round pick, as we mentioned. And there's nothing really outstanding about him. He throws low 90s, decent cutter, and a changeup.
That one is ripped to right field. That's going to be a base hit. It'll go one hop up against the wall. Rickard plays the carom behind him, and coasting into second with the leadoff double is Jacoby Ellsbury. Let's look at the game time weather, which is presented by Bigelow Tea. 55 degrees, 80% humidity, so there is a chance of showers. Wind not much, 4 miles per hour.
Camden Yards kind of has a Seattle feel to it tonight.
Without the dome.
Oh, without the roof.
So here's Brett Gardner. Brett had the only Yankee extra base hit last night. He doubled in the first inning. Overall, he was 1 for 3 with a walk. Now, in these situations, Brett is known to bunt, move the runner over to third with Beltran coming up. Orioles are expecting it. In on the grass is Flaherty. Davis is in at first. Not bunting, and I like not bunting here, Kenny, because when you're bunting, you're almost playing for one run. Left-handed batter should be able to pull the ball off Wilson, and then you move the runner, and it could go through for a base hit.
You know, there's a saying on the bench that once a guy hits a double, trade places with him to the next hitter. So
Brett did it earlier. I think he did it on Sunday in Boston. He bunted in the first inning. And also in ballparks like Fenway and Camden Yards, you really shouldn't be playing for one run.
Well, let's put it on Sunday. You said they were facing David Price on Sunday. A little different situation.
Who they usually hit.
And they did.
Yep. High fly ball. Deep right, going back Rickard. He's on the track, he's at the wall, and he makes the play. Tagging is Ellsbury, he'll move to third. So a long out for Gardner, but he does move the runner over.
Yeah, he did pull the ball. I don't think he quite got it. Didn't have quite that crack of the bat, but he got enough of it to get it up against the wall, and it sends Rickard back. Gardner looked like he thought it might have gone out, but Rickard makes a nice play. A good defensive outfielder. As he told you, he was picked up in the Rule 5 draft. He can play all three outfield positions. Makes a nice play on Gardner, but Ellsbury's at third with one out. I used to love to hit in these situations, a ground ball the shorter second, and you got to run batted in.
Here's Carlos Beltran, 5 for 23 on this road trip. Infield is back. A ground ball scores a run. There's a strike. Now he's the DH with A-Rod being on the 15-day DL. And have you heard the pregame show? Meredith said that he doesn't prefer DH. He'd rather be in the field, keep some more in the game. But at this point in his career at 39, probably best suited as a DH. Ground ball to first. They're going to come home. And they get Ellsbury as Joseph holds on to the ball. Chris Davis has a good arm, and he came home to Joseph, and they got Ellsbury for the second out.
Yeah, manager Buck Showalter says Chris Davis is playing as good at first base as anybody in the league. I mentioned the ground ball, but it wasn't the shorter second. It was to the first, and a strong throw to Caleb Joseph, and Ellsbury is out. One hop, big hop, and a strong throw, and you can see Ellsbury is clearly out at home plate.
Yankees having a hard time plating runs. Here's Mark Teixeira with a runner on first base and now 2 outs. Shift is on. Count 1-0.
I was watching Teixeira during batting practice, and he had a good batting practice session. Hit a few out in the bleachers in deep right center field. Sometimes that can be an indication that a hitter is starting to get his act together, and you start to feel more confident about yourself. But there's a saying in baseball, there's a lot of good hitters at 4 o'clock. It's hitting at 7 o'clock that counts.
Two and one on Teixeira. Just underway here in Baltimore. Middle game of this 3-game set. Penultimate game of a 9-game road trip for the Yanks. They won the first game against the Rangers in Texas. They have not registered a win since. Ground ball up the middle. Machado flips to second. Flaherty took the toss, so it's a 6-5 force, and that'll do it in the first. No runs a hit, 1 left. Yankees nothing. Orioles coming to bat. Orioles turn against CC Sabathia. Joey Rickard in right field will lead off. Batting second, the shortstop Manny Machado. Adam Jones in center field will hit third. Good numbers lifetime against Sabathia. Chris Davis at first base cleans up. Batting fifth, he had 2 home runs last night. The DH Mark Trumbo. Nolan Reimold's in left field. He'll bat 6th. Batting 7th. Playing second base, Jonathan Scope. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, will bat 8th and batting 9th. And playing third base, Ryan Flaherty.
CC Sabathia, we told you about his last start in Texas. He performed very well. What he did was he kept the ball out of the middle of the plate, used a lot of breaking balls, and used them well against the Texas Rangers. Those are his numbers. 1 and 2, 5.06. Let's check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealer. No visiting pitcher has struck out more batters in this ballpark than CC Sabathia. He has 115 strikeouts here at Camden Yards, and 8 is enough. If you're CC, he's gone winless in his last 8 starts here, and he has 98 career wins as a Yankee. 2 more for 100.
So here's Rickard. The Yankees in at the corners in the infield. He's got speed. He can bunt. And the pitch is up and away, 1-0. CC pitched pretty well against Texas. Gave up a big triple. Yankees didn't score for him. So if he pitches like that, they'll sign up for it, but they've got to score some runs. It wasn't a great outing, but remember, CC is the 5th starter on this team.
I mentioned the fact he's winless in his last 8 starts. He is overall against Baltimore. He's 18-7 in his career, but most of that was a few years ago with all the victories.
1-1. Fly ball right field. Drifting back is Hicks. He's there. 1 out. Why don't we check out the Yankee defense, which is presented by Geico. We've seen Hicks in right, so we start there. Ellsbury's the center fielder. Gardner's over and left. In the infield, we go the other way. Headley, Gregorius, Castro, and Teixeira. That's third to first. McCann is behind the plate. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. There's Manny Machado with a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .350.
I was looking today at the offensive categories in the American League. And on the first page, there are 24 different offensive categories. Top 10 are listed. Manny Machado appears in 16 of those. So he's off to a great start this year.
Line drive, a base hit past the lunging Teixeira down the right field line. Machado's going for 2. The arm of Hicks on display, but it's cut off by Castro. A double for Machado.
Now Machado continues his hot hitting, and Hicks comes up with a strong throw, but it's offline. And Machado looks like he would have beaten it. Hicks has a rifle for an arm, as we all know, and Machado took a chance. But I think you saw when Castro reached for the ball, he had to reach out with his left hand. I think the throw was a little offline. Let's take another look, another angle. Yep, it was offline. You could see Didi coming off the bag.
Here's Adam Jones. And there's a strike. Talked to Showalter today about the slow start of Jones. It had something to do with the side issue he had in spring training. He said no excuses. He contributes. He made 2 really good plays in the outfield yesterday. He said he doesn't want to make excuses. He wants to be in the lineup, so there's no excuses why he's gotten off to a slow start. Hitting .213.
He made a throw in the White Sox series on the fly to home plate to cut down a runner in an important part of the game. He had 13 assists last year from center field.
Which is strange because he's a Gold Glover.
Yeah.
Everyone knows he has a good arm. Why should he be able to ring up 13 assists?
Poor scouting.
After a while.
Yeah. Well, the Oriole outfield led the league in assists last year.
Swings on the high pitch.
Yeah, it looked like he chased something out of the zone. Jones is one of those hitters that doesn't walk very often. And if he can reach it, he's going to swing at it. And that one's out of the strike zone. He cost himself a 3-1 count right there. Now it's 2-2.
Hit sharply. Headley knocks it down, checks the runner back, fires to first for the second out. So hit sharply to the Yankee third baseman, and he guns down Jones.
Yeah, usually if Headley puts leather on it, he's going to catch it. And this year he's been a lot more accurate with his throws. This is a rocket. Knocks it down off the left foot over towards the right, picks it up, and throws on to first for the out. The hot corner, folks. Off the heel, off the leg, off the foot. Ball rolls to the right. He picks it up.
Here's Chris Davis. He hits him out and he strikes out.
He had 3 of the latter last night. 47 homers a year ago, but also 208 strikeouts.
And it doesn't seem like they care. They gave him a 7-year, $161 million contract, and they know the strikeouts come with the whole package. One and one.
Last night the Yankee pitchers did a good job of getting him to chase pitches just out of zone when he had 2 strikes. Twice there were fastballs up. Once he tried to check a swing. Once he went through.
Popped up. Castro is there. He'll put it away. And they work around the double by Machado. No runs a hit and 1 man left. We've played 1 in Baltimore. Nothing on yes. They're brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Why are the Yankees struggling? You're not going to look between the numbers. Look at the numbers. Their batting average is 11th in the American League. They're last in runs scored. They're 11th in home runs. They're 13th in on-base percentage, an anemic .305. And they're last with a .201 batting average with runners in scoring position.
And this is from a team that last year had 40 home runs with at least 2 men on base.
And was second in the American League in runs scored.
And the hitter at the plate now, McCann had 8 of those 40. 8 home runs with at least 2 men on base.
Now, A-Rod revealed today that there was a meeting before the game yesterday. Now, it was later contradicted. It wasn't quite a meeting. They always have a hitter's meeting about that day's pitcher. And he said he stood up in the meeting. He said, you know, we can score 5 runs a game. We're that sort of offense. And then it's disappointing when you go out and you score 1 run. So you like to have meetings when you know you're going to put up a big number that night, but the Yankees just didn't do it. And Joe Girardi said it wasn't a meeting that was called. They always have hitters meetings, and that's when he stood up and said that. And Joe said, I agree. We should score 5 runs a game. Grounded to Flaherty on the right side of the infield, 1 away.
Tried to pull an outside pitch, hit it right into the shift. I think the 40 home runs with at least 2 men on. That was a club record last year. And as I said, 7 grand slams involved there. No, 43-run homers and throw to 7 slams in with it. So 43-run homers.
Swing and a miss. Well, he just got home from work. Alex has been put on the DL. He said he didn't want to be put on the DL, but you can't lie to the machine. And the machine is the MRI, which said that he had a severe enough hamstring injury that he had to go on the 15-day DL. He could not hold up, 0-2. So the Yankees, everyone thought that they'd bring up a hitter, but they bring up the left-handed reliever, James Pazos. They have another reliever in the bullpen. Now, that could change. They could send Pazos down tomorrow, but Joe said, we know Hicks is going to play right, and Beltran will DH tonight, and we're okay for hitters, so they decided to go with Pazos to replace A-Rod. But again, movable parts.
And the 3-man bench. It's Wilson's fastball at 89, 89-90. Talking to Jim Palmer before the game, Baltimore broadcaster. He said nothing really jumps out at you from Wilson. He just has a good feel for pitching.
Now, Meredith Marakovitz has more on Joe's comments regarding the roster.
Well, Michael Kenny, you just mentioned the fact that they're playing with a 3-man bench right now, and I asked Joe Girardi about that very thing, and he said Ronald Torreyes gives them enough flexibility that he feels comfortable going with 3 guys. Obviously, you're not going to use Austin Romine unless something happens to McCann, but Torreyes and the flexibility he provides makes him feel okay with playing with 3.
Also, Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees AAA affiliate, was playing in Buffalo today. Aaron Judge had a home run. He now has 4. Rob Refsnyder's been on a tear. I believe he had 2 more hits. His average is, I think, 258. Nick Swisher is continuing to hit over 300. So there are some options there. And as for Refsnyder, he actually asked if he could play right field because he wants to make himself really proficient at a number of positions so he could be a utility guy like a Ronald Torreyes and be that valuable.
Well, that's where he started as an outfield.
Yep. From right to second to third. Well, here's a guy, you know, one man's injury is another man's opportunity, and that's Aaron Hicks. The Yankee organization thinks the world of him. They love him hitting from the right side. He is a switch hitter, and with the injury to A-Rod, Hicks is going to see more time now. And he's gotten off to a really bad start. He has 2 hits and 26 at-bats. So he has a chance to show, getting 4 at-bats a game, what he can do.
Well, maybe a chance to get in some rhythm as well. That's one thing about being a switch hitter. You get to play, you know, if you're proficient at it, you play every single day.
Now, unfortunately for him, his strong side is the right-handed side, and there are way more righty pitchers than there are lefty. So he's got to get better from the left side, and he's getting an opportunity tonight. Three and 1.
Here's an opportunity right here. 3-1 pitch. We'll see how Wilson goes about it here. Does he give in with a fastball? Got Gregorius on deck. He did, but it was to a good spot. So if you're a hitter, you take it. You don't want to top that ball. Try and make him do it again.
Ground ball, backhanded by Machado from the outfield grass, a laser across the diamond to get Hicks. So the Yankees go down in order on 3 ground balls. We go to the bottom of the second. For today's conversation, brought to you by Toyota. RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. How surprised are you at the way Jake Arrieta has developed since the Orioles traded him to the Cubs? One of our responses, not entirely surprised. Sometimes it just takes a change of scenery to find success. Not that much success. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag YankeesRAV4 Hybrid to keep the conversation going. You'd have to say the Orioles are extraordinarily surprised. 6-0. 0.84. Last year he won the Cy Young Award. He's actually pitching better.
The only time he lost in like 24 starts is when Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter against the Cubs.
That's how you beat him.
Yep. He has certainly developed since going to Chicago. And I think what happened was the Cubs just let him work, pitch the way he wanted to pitch. Here they were trying to mold him into something he didn't want to be.
Well, he kind of throws across his body.
Yeah.
And the Orioles said, you're going to hurt your arm that way. And they tried to get him to come over the top. And the Cubs said, just do what you do. And he's a workout fanatic and is in great shape. And he's just been, very simply put, he's been the best pitcher in baseball. Now, he did get hit in the playoffs. Didn't have a great game against the Mets. And the Mets sweep of the Cubs in the NLCS. But in the regular season, he's been practically unbeatable. The 1-1. 1-2 as Trumbo swings over the change.
Yeah, good changeup from CC Sabathia. And last night, the pitches that Trumbo hit for home runs were both on the inner half. And the way he hit them, it looked like he was looking in there the whole night. The one time he struck out, it was a good breaking ball away.
Now, he hits the Yankees for sure in 28 games. 324, 10 homers, and 19 ribbies. So 2 of those homers and 3 of those ribbies last night.
He came into last night with 1 home run in his last 55 at bats, but he found the range quickly.
Swing and a miss. Trumbo down on strikes.
Good fade on both of those changeups that were swung on and missed. You can see the target, just a little fade on the changeup, and Trumbo cannot reach it. It's not only the change of speed, but the movement away from the right-hand hitter. You look at this on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. A very good pitch from CC Sabathia to pick up his first strikeout.
That's a strike. Count 0-1. Now, dating back to the end of last year, you go 24 games, Reimold's hitting .340.
He's got some tools. He's got some speed, decent outfielder, good throwing arm. Originally drafted by the Orioles, a second rounder in 2005. But then he was claimed by the Jays, and then
that one is looped into right center. It's a base hit. Reimold picks up a single.
And then claimed by Arizona, and then re-signed by the Orioles as a minor league free agent. He's had some injury problems. He's had 2 neck surgeries. One that he said was botched, and he actually sued the doctors that did the initial surgery.
Did he win?
I thought there was some sort of settlement there. I wasn't in on the court case. With the
Here's Jonathan Schoop, 25 years old. He's out of Curacao. Now, Schoop has 5 stars tattooed on his arm, and he looks at it all the time. And the reason he looks at it because he wants to be a 5-tool player. And he said, if you ask me right now, I say I'm 3.5 or 4. So I've got work to do.
What is he lacking?
Didn't say.
He's got a strong throwing arm, so that's not it.
He's not overly fast. I don't know if that's a tool that you can get. Changeup is popped up. Headley makes the play in foul territory for the second out.
He's got power. You know, he's capable of hitting 30 home runs. He hit 15 in just about half a season last year because he was injured. He's a good defender. Maybe it is the running.
Yeah, and he's got a nice burst, but he doesn't really run well.
So I don't see. That's one it's hard to improve on. Yeah.
Here's Caleb Joseph. His brother Corbin was drafted by the Yankees, so talented family. Caleb, 7th round draft pick by the Orioles in 2008 out of Lipscomb University, which is in Tennessee.
He'd been in the Oriole minor league system for a number of years and finally got called up to the big leagues. He's a good backup catcher to Matt Wieters. In fact, he said his first trip to New York, Michael, he said it was the first time he ever had to look straight up to see the sky. All the big buildings, of course, in Manhattan. CeCe's best pitch this inning has been his changeup. Got a strikeout and he got a pop up on it. Tried it again.
We're in the bottom of the second, 0-0. Orioles won last night 4-1. Just missed.
CeCe's checking with Chris Guccione to see where that pitch was. Looked like he took one false step back to the dugout. There's your target. He must have called it low because it did have the corner. Here's another look from the side angle. That did look high enough.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ground ball up the middle. Gregorius flips to Castro, and that'll do it here in the bottom of the second. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We move to the third in Baltimore. Each team at 0. So far, the rain has held up here at Camden Yards, and there's no score as we move to the third inning. Orioles and Yankees, Tyler Wilson against CC Sabathia. For the Yankees, it'll be Didi, Headley, and Ellsbury, 8, 9, and 1 against the 26-year-old right-hander. I think Tyler Wilson might be the only player, I think he is the only player on either side that wears the stirrups the way they used to wear them in the old days, the good old days. Actually, stirrups and sanitary hose. Just not the way it is anymore.
Yeah. And sometimes the stirrups are pulled up a lot higher than he wears them.
Grounded to Machado. 1 away.
4 assists so far from Machado tonight. A lot of ground balls from Tyler Wilson thus far.
6 straight ground balls.
Yeah, the thing about Manny, he's got such a strong arm. He takes a while to unload, but when he does,
he likes to show off. He's got some arm.
Yeah, he does.
Now, I asked Showalter today about Hardy being out 6 to 8 weeks. He said, we said 6 to 8 weeks. He said, it's probably going to be shorter than that. We just don't want to have people disappointed in expectations. We think he's going to be back way before 6 to 8 weeks, but that's what we've announced publicly. The 0-1. And I said, will Machado continue to play short? He said, he could. He said, because we have a lot of options at third. We could play Flaherty at third. We can play Chris Davis at third. He played 3 years at third base. He said we have Pedro Alvarez, who's actually played more games at third than Manny Machado in his career. He said, so we've got people to play at third, so we could go that route. But it seems like he's flexible to it.
Orioles are a sound defensive team.
Headley with a ground ball right side. The third baseman Flaherty. And the scouting report that Kenny gave you on Tyler Wilson, boy, is it playing out. He doesn't have great stuff, but he's got a sinker. And he wants you to pound the ball into the ground, and that's exactly what the last 7 Yankees have done. So if they can't lift that ball, they've got to find holes in the infield.
Yeah, they've hit a few balls hard on the ground, but so far they've found fielders. That last one was not hit very hard by Headley. Speaking of good defensive teams, see what happened to Kansas City today?
I know they got crushed.
They got crushed, but the Nationals scored 6 runs in the first inning. Kansas City came in with only 8 errors on the season. They made 3 in the first inning today.
The defending champions are 14-12. And the White Sox, who the Yankees will see on the next homestand, lead the Central at 19-8.
Ellsbury ripped a double to right field his first time, and in his career he's well over 300 against Baltimore. About 314 or so. And now he has to count even more so on his side.
Here's the 3-1. And a 2-out walk by Ellsbury. Time for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. We were going around the league. Now we go way around the league. Look at some of the storylines. Steven Strasburg, Kenny told you about that Royals game. He's 5-0. By the way, he'll be a free agent at the end of the year, so Good time to have a great year. The Cubs sweep the Pirates, and at 20-6, the lovable losers are no more. They have the best record in the major leagues, and Mike Trout hit his 7th home run of the year in a win over Milwaukee. So Ellsbury's at first, and here is Gardner, who hit one all the way to the wall in right field. Run down by Rickard. That was in the first inning.
Speaking of the Cubs, see Joe Madden had one of those theme trips. They had to wear wild outfits and a suit. I mean, not suits, but at least a sport coat, and just everything loud. And on the whole trip, you had to wear at least part of that outfit coming to and from the ballpark. So he's trying to make it fun for the Cubs while they're, just crushing everybody else.
I see what he's trying to do, but that's too much work for me. Just get dressed up. And
you know what? I like your tie. It's got some jump to it. It's got some jump to it, but it's not what I would say loud.
I wonder if I'd get on Madden's plane. I wonder if he would allow me. Runner goes. And it was a pitch out that Wilson didn't see, and the ball gets past Joseph. Throw to third, and Ellsbury's in there. So a stolen base, and we'll see how they score it as he gets to third.
Looked like Joseph made his move too soon. He steps out, but it wasn't a pitch out.
It was a strike.
It was a cutter, and it's a strike to Gardner. But now he's going to have to retrieve it back to the screen, and Ellsbury can get all the way to third base. A missed signal there.
All right, so that's a stolen base and a pass ball.
That's a tough pass ball.
Especially when the pitcher missed the pitch out. Second time Ellsbury's been at third, this time with 2 outs. He got thrown out on a ground ball by Beltran to first with 1 out. That was in the first inning. So Ellsbury with a double, a walk, a stolen base, and now he's at third on the pass ball. Two and two. Saw a shot of Alex there. Spend the next 15 games on the DL.
Had a chance to talk to him a little bit in the clubhouse, and you could tell he's kind of down. Kind of felt he was starting to come out of it with the bat. 3 home runs on this trip.
Two. Fouled away. Two. Strike 3. Gardner down looking as the Yankees leave another runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the third. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Bowlmore Lanes. Nobody throws a party like Bowlmore. Plan your next event at Bowlmore Lanes. And by People's United Bank NA. Tap your mobile phone, check your balance with Touch ID. All right, so the Yankees have left a runner at third in 2 of the 3 innings. As we go to the bottom of the third, nothing. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Orioles order, starting with Ryan Flaherty against CC Sabathia. Pitches up and in. CC said that since the beginning of the year, he's lost 15 pounds. He's down to 300, and they asked him how he did it. And he said, you know what, I just stopped eating after the game. And for those that don't know, I mean, they have these gourmet spreads in most of the clubhouses in Major League Baseball after games. It's late at night, and people just eat. And he said he stopped doing that, and he's dropped the 15 pounds already.
And also, you know, on getaway days, you get on the plane, they have even more food.
Yeah.
So. That's good. I'm going to remember that. It's hard to walk by that refrigerator sometimes when you get home.
The 2-0. 2-1.
Do you make a habit of having like a midnight snack after a game?
Try not to, but you know, sometimes you feel like you do.
Yeah.
A little ice cream.
Remember that last piece of pie's in there?
That doesn't tempt me. The ice cream does.
Okay.
Not a pie fan. Cake fan, not a pie fan.
Well, last piece of cake.
Okay. 2-1. 2-2.
See what CC goes with here. 3-2. Flaherty, left-handed hitter, leading off an inning. You know he doesn't want to walk him. Danger of getting a pitch too close to the middle of the plate. Let's see what he does here. Couldn't get him to chase.
So a leadoff walk to Flaherty. Back to the top of the order, and Joey Rickard.
See Rickard looking down at third base coach Bobby Dickinson and see what they're going to do. Decent speed at first and Flaherty.
And he bunts. It's a good bunt. Fielded there by Headley. Fires the first. Not in time. Pulled Teixeira off the bag. And the Orioles have runners on first and second and nobody out.
Well, that didn't look like a sacrifice bunt. It looked more like he was bunting for a base hit, but Rickard shows he can get one down, and he runs very well. So it's a tough play. Good play by Teixeira coming off the bag just to make sure the throw doesn't head down the right field line. Ball is by CC Sabathia. And now the Orioles have 2 on and nobody out here in the third inning.
Now here's Manny Machado. So a walk and a bunt. And the Orioles have a rally. Now Machado wears number 13 because he grew up idolizing Alex Rodriguez. They sometimes work out together in Miami during the offseason. He's just 23 years old. Seems like he's been here forever.
There's some Oriole fans that would tell you they hope he is.
If he is, it's going to cost some money.
Oh, yeah, it will.
And he's played through 2 serious knee surgeries as well and come back just as strong and effective.
You know, both times he was injured against the Yankees.
1-1.
And he's kind of answered the injury. As we take a look at this pitch, looked like a cutter. That's not well located, man. He swung through it and missed it. You can see he tried to put a little extra into that one. But Machado has now played in 187 consecutive games, and that's the longest streak going in the major leagues. He played in every game last year.
That was a big deal for him to play every game.
Yeah.
Because of all the injuries and the doubt whether or not he could stay healthy. Swing and a miss. Got him on the change. It's been an effective pitch so far tonight for CC.
Second strikeout, big strikeout here. And you can see once again the fade down and away from a right-handed hitter. Sell it. Looked like a fastball away, and it just dives out of the zone. Second strikeout.
Here's Adam Jones. Jones grounded to third. That was in the first. So you'd call it a soft rally, a walk, and a bunt. And CeCe's trying to work around it here in the bottom of the third. Let's see if this is a double play. There's one on to first. It's a double play. And Sabathia got just what he needed. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Stadium on Monday, May 9th for Yankee Stadium tradition. It's cap night with a twist. All guests in attendance will receive a special green Yankees cap, courtesy of the Robin Hood Foundation. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. All right, so CC gets out of problems and induces a big double play ball. Audi scoreboard shows 0-0 as we head to the 4th. Carlos Beltran leads off. Now, CC likes the pitch that McCann called. And you'll see, after it's over, he points at McCann. Gives him credit on that one.
That cutter that got in on Adam Jones and was grounded to shortstop, but Taylor made double play.
And CC didn't even hit the glove exactly. It leaked a little bit out over the plate, but just the call
just
came
enough
in on the egg. Just enough.
Yep.
Tip into the glove of Caleb Joseph, and Beltran is down on strikes.
Yeah, the same thing on this particular pitch to Beltran. A cutter, and just when you think you have it lined up, it's going to move in on you just a little bit more. And foul tipped into the glove.
Here's Mark Teixeira.
In each of his starts this year, Wilson's given up a home run. His last start against the White Sox, he had a no decision, and he gave up a home run to Todd Frazier. And it wasn't such a bad pitch. Frazier just went out and got it and jerked it into the seats and left. But he has very good control.
And he's just starting because Gallardo is on the DL. Making progress and will come off shortly. But it's a nice problem to have. The 2-1.
All right, Tex jumps ahead, and we've seen him ahead on counts, looking for a particular pitch. Sitting on 397 homers.
Now, there was a little controversy yesterday. Joe Girardi was meeting with the media. The Orioles were taking batting practice. And the Orioles finished batting practice. It was time for the Yankees to take BP. And all of a sudden, the tarp came on the field. And Joe mentioned to the media that was standing there, oh, that's great. It's time for us to take BP. And they put the tarp on as if it was a bit of gamesmanship.
Look out. I guess he got the bat. Well, anyway, it wasn't raining. If it was raining, it wasn't raining enough for me to put the tarp on the field.
Well, I asked Buck about it today, and of course he's not going to admit to gamesmanship. He left. He said, I got other things to worry about than to stop the Yankees from taking BP. He said, there are cages underneath the stands. He said, so we weren't trying to stop them from taking. The forecast was for rain yesterday, and that's why they put the tarp on. And the one who really took that accusation hard was the head of the grounds crew. She was insulted. She said, if you looked at the radar at that point, and we did, it was all these clouds that said it was going to rain, and it didn't rain, so it makes you look bad, but you put the tarp on so it doesn't soak the field. But Joe didn't like it. I understand why he didn't, because his team had an off day on Monday, and then they can't take BP on the field, so it's kind of laying back for 2 days. And Showalter said, we did not do it on purpose. We did it because of the forecast. Grounded. Foul. First base umpire David Rackley looked into Guccione to give him some help, and Guccione didn't help him. So he finally made the call foul.
Oh, we get another look, and this camera's right on the line, so you'll be able to tell. Yep, that's a foul ball.
And you see Rackley's looking in. What we got? Okay, foul.
Nobody's running. Foul ball.
One and two.
I'm looking out at right field, and Joey Rickard is, I know it's not too far out there, but he's pretty shallow. McCann's got more power than that. And there is a school of thought that because it's so close in right field, you do play shallow. So you cut off the line drives that are hit out there, because anything hit well, you're not going to catch anyway.
Two. Grounded to Machado. There's one. And there's two. A 6-5-3 double play ends the inning as McCann hit it sharply, but right at the shortstop. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Nothing. Live with the MLB.com At Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live video game highlights, and StatCast news and more. Download MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Orioles are disappointed in the weather in the early going. They have said that it's really held down attendance. The Audi scoreboard, nothing. Also, the Yankees coming here in midweek doesn't help them either. But the weather's attendance has been bad.
Yeah, weather's been just like this just about every home game.
Here's Chris Davis. Kenny and I noticed the other day. I know it must be a bear to put a schedule together. But you have Toronto in Tampa Bay twice in April. So you have two dome teams playing each other when you could have teams that might have bad weather in the Northeast playing in one of those domes.
Which means Toronto's only going to go there one more time in the next 5 months. And you know, maybe in the month of July it's not so bad, but this is April and you do have bad weather throughout Major League Baseball.
The 0-2 to Davis. Now, speaking of the dome down in St. Pete, the Trop, Trace Thompson of the Dodgers. The Dodgers are down playing the Rays, and I mean, that historical perspective on that series is unbelievable. When the Dodgers play the Rays, you can throw the records away. It's one of the reasons you have interleague play.
Yeah, they haven't been there since 2007.
But Trace Thompson, who is the brother of Klay Thompson of the Warriors, hit a ball on a catwalk for a home run. And today he wanted to go up to the catwalk to see where he hit the ball, and they would not let him go up there for safety reasons. So he hit a ball where you couldn't walk. One-two. Fooled on that one and just pops it up left side of the infield. Gregorius will make the play. And Davis is retired.
Second time that CC has fooled him on an off-speed pitch and got him way out in front and popped him up softly. Would you want to go up to the catwalk and get a ball that you hit up there? I don't think I would. Let it stay up there. You can get another baseball and say that was it.
I guess you could, but then you'd be lying to yourself. And I've done that.
If you got some sort of safety harness, maybe you would go up there.
Brian Cashman would go up there.
Of course he would.
He went up to the CN Tower and leaned over with a harness.
Yeah, I remember that last year. We were in Toronto at the time. And he repels buildings in Stamford, Connecticut. Not quite as tall as the CN Tower, but still. Those things aren't going to be on my bucket list.
He's jumped out of planes. Broke his ankle jumping out of a plane. The 0-1. Nothing. Bottom of the fourth inning. A 1-1 count on Trumbo. Had 2 home runs yesterday against Luis Severino.
CC's average fastball this year is about 88 miles an hour, so this is about average for him. And you can see the swing and a miss. Got Trumbo on a changeup the first time. Let's see what he does with him this time.
That one is lined into right center field. That is going to be a base hit. Hicks will play it on a hop, flip it in, and Trumbo picks up a 1-out single.
Yeah, CC tried to cross him up, get in on him. He did get in on him, but Trumbo's strong enough to fight it off for a base hit into right center field. You see the target is in, and Trumbo opens the hips very quickly. His front side open up, and it's forced the ball off towards right field. Not well hit, but well placed.
Here's Reimold.
Watching CC mix his pitches here. The 2 balls have been in. The strike was away. Trying to influence hitters and keep them off balance.
There's a strike. Trumbo leads off first. 1 man out, bottom of the fourth. 0-0. Yankees in the O's. 2-2. 3-2. Do they send Trumbo now? And hope that Reimold makes contact. Or put pressure on Reimold to make contact.
Yeah, in a way, I don't think they will, because if it's a swing and a miss, Trumbo's going to be out. And if there is a ground ball, Reimold runs pretty well. He might be able to beat the double play.
Not going. And a foul ball.
Yeah, when CC was a younger pitcher and had that blazing fastball, he could get it up there at 97 miles an hour. He always had good breaking stuff to go with it. I think over the years he's refined his changeup, and now that he throws only 88, he has to rely more on his breaking pitches to get people out, but he has to keep them out of the middle of the plate. and throw just enough fastballs to keep the hitters off balance.
Three-two. Soft ground ball to second. There's one on to first. It's a double play. So they do double up Reimold on the 4-6-3. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the fifth. Nothing. Every day when Bob has the update, he mentions Rougned Odor.
I think he just likes saying his name.
I think he does. Good name to say. So we go to the fifth inning. Nothing. Yankees have managed just one hit, a leadoff double by Ellsbury in the first inning. The Orioles have 4 hits, but neither team has a run on the Cadillac scoreboard. Nothing. CC with double plays in the third and the fourth to get out of trouble. Castro now against Tyler Wilson.
Last night's game against Baltimore for Castro was the first one he's ever played against the Baltimore Orioles. Longtime member of the Chicago Cubs. I guess they didn't hook up in Italy, or at least he didn't play.
Count 0-2. Missed outside. 1-2. Castro, Hicks, and Gregorius here in the fifth inning. Yankees had 7 hits yesterday, 6 singles. Ouch. And that is going to leave a mark.
Yeah, this is not fun. In fact, this is the way that J.J. Hardy fouled the ball off his foot in the White Sox series, the recent White Sox series here, and he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Castro down on strikes.
Third strikeout for Wilson. Like a two-seam fastball, just kind of diving down and in. And he's over the top for the strikeout.
Kenny, I've talked to pitchers who tell me whenever a guy fouls the ball off his foot, they always like to go down and in on the next pitch.
You've been talking to David Cohn now later. Yeah. You know what? The hitters kind of know that because I think that's part of the pitcher's code. That they have to do it. They'll get fined by other pitchers if they don't.
Hicks with a ground ball to second. Scope charges, fires. Got him. Scope has a shortstop's arm playing second, and he showed it right there.
Yeah, we told you about the competition between Scope and Manny Machado as to who has the best arm. And you know what? At this point, I don't know. They both have rockets for arms. You can see just by a step, Hicks getting down the line pretty well. Ball into the glove of Chris Davis. About a half a step before Hicks gets there.
Give some credit to the first base ump, David Rockley. That's not an easy call. I mean, that was bang bang in yes mode, and he's seen in real speed.
Well, usually they go by sound. You know, they can hear the ball hit the glove before the foot hits the bag.
Didi with a more conventional ground ball, and he is out, and that'll do it. So Wilson pitching a one-hit shutout through 5 at the end of 4.5. No score. Yes Network, Comcast customers will miss the entire Yankee season on Yes. There are other TV providers that carry Yes, including DirecTV, Frontier, PlayStation Vue, Fios, and Sling TV. Don't miss any Yankees games on Yes. For more information, go to keepyesnetwork.com. Jonathan Scope will lead off against CeCe, bottom third of the Yankee order. A 7-pitch inning for Tyler Wilson in the 5th. Breaking ball, no bite upstairs, 1-0. Cadillac scoreboard, 0-0. Orioles with 4 hits, the Yankees 1.
The one Yankee hit was the first batter of the game, Jacoby Ellsbury, with a booming double, and that's been it for the Yankees thus far.
Count 2-1. That one is ripped down the left field line. That is a base hit, fair ball, and it'll go into the corner. Schoop hustles to second with a leadoff double here in the 5th.
Looked like something that got too close to the middle of the plate. The target is in. Actually, it was not that bad a pitch. Schoop just beat him to the spot. It's on the inner third, and he's got a quick back and almost pulled it foul, but keeps it fair into the corner for a 2-base hit. Double number 6.
Now the Yankees are in at the corner, so let's see if Joseph does lay down a bunt. Schoop's at second, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Not bunting. Slices it foul.
Yeah, he was trying to hit it the other way, though. Now he's looking down at third base coach Bobby Dickerson to see if there are any different instructions as to what should happen here.
Foul back to the screen, 0-2.
Yeah, once again an inside-out type swing. And one way to keep a hitter from hitting the ball the other way, you throw the ball in on their hands, and that's exactly where that pitch was.
You can see he's trying to go the other way. Fouls the ball back twice, and the count still 0-2. Joseph grounded into a 6-4 force his first time up. He's hitless in his last 8 at-bats.
In these tight ball games, little things mean 90 feet can mean a lot, so CC's trying to prevent him from moving Schoop to third base.
And he does. Joseph swings and misses. 1 away.
We said the best pitch of the night for CC's been his changeup, and this is another one that's going to work some magic. Falls right out of the zone, and all along Joseph's trying to hit the ball the other way, so he sees a pitch out over the plate thinking he can hit it away to the opposite field, but that ball had too much movement on it and too much drop, and he swings over the top.
So now a runner at second with 1 out. Number 9 batter in the lineup, Ryan Flaherty, who walked in the third. One and 0. So a pitcher's duel between Sabathia and Wilson. Schoop leads off second. Line drive right field. It's a base hit. Hicks has a great arm, and Dickerson will hold up Schoop as Teixeira cuts off the throw. So a single for Flaherty, first and third, 1 out, and Joey Rickard coming up.
Yeah, CC missed with a breaking ball on the first pitch. He came back with another one that was a strike, but it was much too good. And Flaherty doesn't miss it. He's tried to throw him breaking balls all night. You can see this one's just about centered. And Flaherty goes right with it and pulls it in the right field for a base hit. And Hicks, as Michael said, has a strong arm. Only 90 feet for Schoop to third base.
So the Yankees looking for another double play. CC's gotten out of jams the last 2 innings with the ground ball double play. Rickard 1 for 2, a bunt single his last time up, and he swings over the changeup 0-1.
Yeah, the problem here though is Rickard's tough to double up. He runs very well. So for CC to get another double play turned, Rickard's going to have to hit the ball fairly hard at one of the infielders. And if he hits the ball to third, if it's not hard enough, Headley's got a chance to come home and get Scope.
One and one. The margin of error for a Yankee starter has been so thin all year as this team just not giving any breathing room to the pitchers. And they have just one hit tonight, a leadoff double by Ellsbury. That's it against 26-year-old Tyler Wilson. So a lot of stress on CeCe as he tries to keep the Orioles off the board. Missed outside with a breaking ball.
And he tried to backdoor a hook.
One slice foul. 2-2.
The pitch of choice tonight has been the changeup. All three of his strikeouts have come on that pitch.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Sabathia. He goes up the ladder and Rickard chased it for strike three.
Well, when you're looking for the change, sometimes you get the heat. And that's a well-placed pitch. Up in his eyes. Rickard chases one out of the strike zone. You know, that Oriole hitters have that change up on their mind. They've seen it enough tonight. And then they see the fastball, they try and catch up, and CeCe put it in a good spot.
So McCann wants to talk with CeCe with the dangerous Machado due up.
I had mentioned before that Machado, both times he was injured against the Yankees. The first time he injured his knee was against Tampa Bay down at Tropicana Field. Had to have surgery. That was sort of almost the last game of the season. And then the second time was against the Yankees.
The Scott Braddock telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So here's Machado, first and third, 2 outs. Machado is 1 for 2, doubled in the first, struck out in the third. Line drive, center field. It hangs up there for Ellsbury for the final out. So Machado hit it right on the screws, but Ellsbury got a good jump. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. We go to the 6th. you can now stream them live on your mobile device. If you're a DirecTV, Optimum, or Time Warner cable subscriber, just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Yankees wherever you go. Well, pitchers matchup, pitchers duel so far in 5 innings. Wilson's allowed 1 hit, CC 6, but CC has certainly wiggled out of jams like he did in the 5th. We go to the 6th. Chase Headley leads off against Tyler Wilson, and he takes a strike.
Yeah, Wilson's only given up 1 fly ball out. It was a nice catch by Rickard in the 1st inning, up against the wall in deep right center field off Gardner. Everything else has been either a strikeout or a ground out.
Benjamin Moore scoreboard 0-0. Kenny pitched well by getting the strikeout on Rickard, and sometimes you need a little luck as well.
Yeah.
Machado couldn't hit the ball harder, but it stayed up there for Ellsbury, and 3rd out. Nobody scores.
That was right on the nose. Machado's been hitting the ball well all season long, but that time that particular line drive found some leather.
Chase Headley on May 4th, still looking for his first extra base hit. It's a source of concern. He's been dropped to 9th in the order. Yankees expected to come. They say he's healthy. He has 10 hits and 69 at bats, hitting 145, and all 10 hits singles. So his batting average is in fact his slugging percentage. Two-two, swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes, 1 away. Chase is now 3 for 23 on this road trip.
Let's see what the deal is here with this pitch. It's hard to tell. Is it a fastball or changeup? Take another look. Whatever it is, he swung and missed it.
Here's Ellsbury, has the only hit by the Yankees, a leadoff double to right field. Later that inning, got thrown out at home trying to score on a ground ball to Chris Davis. Wilson, breaking ball strike, 0-1. Grounded sharply through for a base hit. So there's the Yankees' second hit, both of them off the bat of Ellsbury, who was also walked.
Well, so far tonight, he's been the Yankees' offense. He's also picked up a stolen base, his 6th of the year. He's in the top 10 in that category. And when he was with Boston before coming to the Yankees, he was kind of a thorn in the Orioles' side. Ellsbury trying to smooth the runway over there. So far this year, Caleb Joseph has thrown out 3 of 14, which is about 21%. We'll make it 3 of 15 because Ellsbury was successful earlier in the game.
Had a big lead there. And Joseph in the minor leagues has thrown out 40%.
Yeah. Of course, more experienced base runners up here. They know when to go, when to pick pitches, and even in the big leagues here, his career is 32, which is pretty good.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second. Stolen base for Ellsbury. His 2nd of the game.
Well, like I said, 90 feet can be very important in this game, and Ellsbury just moves up 90. 2nd stolen base of the night. Said the pitch was high, the throw was high. And Ellsbury's in with his 7th stolen base of the year. The swipe tag. No contact.
Count 0-1 on Gardner. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Deep fly ball to right and a strikeout looking. And that strikeout looking with 2 outs and Ellsbury at third.
Yeah, with Ellsbury at second now, Manny Machado has to hold him fairly closely with 1 out because he doesn't want him to get a good jump, but that opens up the left side a bit.
Shooting that way, fouls it off.
I used to have a theory when I was hitting. I didn't look and see where the fielders were on the field. I looked to see where the holes were on the field. So subconsciously, that's where I wanted to hit the ball.
That's up the middle. He found a hole for a base hit. Ellsbury's going to be held at third as Jones comes up throwing a 1-hopper to Joseph. So a single for Gardner, and the Yankees have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Good call by Joe Espada at third. It looked like Ellsbury got somewhat of a late jump on the ball hit back through the middle. He hesitates a bit. You can see it right there. And Adam Jones has one of the best arms in the league. So Espada decides to hold him at third with 1 out and leave it up to Carlos Beltran to get the job done, get the runner in from third. That little hesitation was just enough. Adam Jones already plays a shallow center field, and that's one of the reasons he does, so he can throw people out at the plate.
Orioles looking for the double play. Beltran has grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out. Gardner bluffed, didn't go. Count 1-0.
Yeah, one way to stay out of the conventional double play is have Gardner steal second base. And right now Joseph is giving signals as to what he's going to do if the ball comes to him and Gardner's on the move.
Well, we've already seen a straight steal of home by Ellsbury. That's against a lefty pitcher, so he can't get as big a lead against Tyler Wilson. Strike. 1-1. So the Yankees have an opportunity to break through here in the 6th. The Orioles have threatened. They've been unable to push across a run. Can the Yankees do it here in the 6th inning? Nothing game. Chasing Gardner back. No one up in the Orioles bullpen. 81 pitches for Tyler Wilson.
With 1 out, the table setters have set the table.
Fly ball, center field. Let's see if they try to score Ellsbury. Jones makes the catch, and he's going to throw into second. Doesn't even try for the throw home. So a sac fly for Beltran. Ellsbury scores, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
It looked like he might have had trouble with the transfer from the glove to the hand. Something wasn't quite right out there on that ball in left center field, because usually he's going to let it fly the home plate. See what happens. Here's the catch. He fumbled it, and that's why he couldn't make the throw to home plate.
So the Yankees catch a break as Ellsbury scores on the sac fly by Beltran.
You saw the double clutch.
Because that throw's not too deep for Adam Jones.
No, he's going to let it fly with his arm.
Kenny mentioned last year 13 assists from center field. Now Gardner is a threat to go with 2 outs and to share at the plate.
Didn't you sense the excitement coming on
that?
Yeah, I did too.
So Wilson has slowed it down a bit. A single to right by Ellsbury, a stolen base, a single to center by Gardner, moving Ellsbury to third. A medium range fly ball by Beltran, scoring Ellsbury. And Gardner remains at first with 2 outs. Yankees up 1-0. The 2-0. 3-0.
Let him swing. Couple of reasons. You want to try and get him uncorked. And maybe Joseph is going out there, probably say, don't throw this one down the middle. It might not be a guaranteed take. You want to get Teixeira going. And you might want to get him one of those batting practice fastballs in the middle of the plate. I would say he's got the green light if he wants it.
And he walks him. So Teixeira with a walk, that moves Gardner to second, and that brings up McCann.
Here's one of those situations I was talking about earlier in the game. The Yankees had 40 home runs last year with 2 or more men on base, and McCann had 8 of them. So he's up here with 2 men on now.
The Yankees have good speed at second in Gardner. Teixeira takes it base to base at first. McCann takes low 1-0.
Yeah, 43-run homers for the Yankees, and Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, can sense that Tyler Wilson might be, painting himself into a situation where he throws too fat a pitch to a pretty good hitter.
And they also are giving their reliever some time. T.J. McFarland. Orioles with 8 relievers and really 7 that could pitch. Zach Britton, their closer, has a bad ankle, so he's a day-to-day proposition without DLing him. One-0. Line drive, base hit to right field. Gardner rounds third. He's coming home. He'll score. The throw to third to get Teixeira is not in time. It's an RBI single for McCann, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Big 2-out hit, plates another run. Let's see what the pitch is. He really goes down and gets it. Knee high, it's moving away, but he covers the plate well. Line drive, base hit. Gardner's going to score easily with 2 outs. He's on the move. The play's at third. Joe Espada tells Teixeira to slide. And a better throw might have made it a good play at third, but Gardner getting congratulations from Beltran as the Yankees come through here with some big hits in the 6th inning.
Here's Starlin Castro. Pitch outside, 1-0. So a couple of big hits for the Yankees. Big sac fly as well. Fly ball deep right. Going back is Rickard, looking up. It is a foul ball. Had a chance to hit the foul pole, but just went right.
Didn't miss by much. You can see Rickard. That ball clearly foul. And the fan had a chance here to make a play and off his hand. Somebody else probably got the ball too.
Two and one on Castro. Starlin has grounded to short and struck out, so he's 0 for 2 tonight. Yankees finally break through against Tyler Wilson. He had allowed just 1 hit over 5 innings. The 2-1. Nubbed in front of the plate. Wilson, bare hands, fires and throws past Davis. Teixeira scores. McCann goes to third. And moving to second is Castro as the Yankees lead this one 3-0.
Wilson doesn't help himself out here. It looked as though he had plenty of time to get Castro at first base, and he comes up short in his throw to Chris Davis, who couldn't dig it out. Slider off the end of the bat, bare hand, and now the bad throw, and the Yankees are going to get another run. We look at this on Yes Mo, slows things down, but you can see ball might have even hit the lip right there of where the cutout was and made the hop even more erratic for Davis to handle.
Scored an E1, so no RBI there, no hit for Castro. Big spot for the Yankees to take a really significant lead with Hicks at the plate and runners on second and third and 2 outs. 3 runs in already. Blocked by Joseph. Hicks is grounded out to short and grounded out to second.
Both times he hit the ball pretty well.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Tyler Wilson. This will be the last batter, I believe, that Wilson will face with the lefty swinging Gregorius on deck. They'll bring in McFarland for Gregorius.
This might be his last man, whether he gets him or not. That's.
He's at 94 pitches.
Yeah. Remember, he began the season working out of the bullpen. His last start, he had 91 against the White Sox. So this is his high water mark this season.
2-1 on Hicks. Ground ball to second, scope over to first, and that will do it. But the Yankees put 3 on the board. They're helped by an error. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Those were the thrilling moments of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi is giving you a chance to earn your pinstripes. Visit Yankees.com/Pepsi Pinstripes for more details. So the Yankees get CC 3 runs, and now he will face Adam Jones in the bottom of the 6th. So do their fortunes turn with that 6th inning? They get some breaks. Jones double clutched on what would have been a play at home plate. Wilson throws it away. They get a couple of big hits, and they're up 3-0. And a strike. And Dave Wallace says that's a good job. You're done. As Wilson gives him 6. Popped up behind the plate. McCann runs out of room. It's about 2 rows back. It's 3-0 Yankees on the Benjamin Moore scoreboard. Jones, a .302 hitter lifetime against the Bathy, with 4 home runs and 14 ribbies and 63 at-bats.
As you mentioned, he's off to a slow start, no matter what the reason. These guys had 25 home runs in 5 consecutive seasons. First Oriole outfielder ever to do that. And he's made the All-Star team 4 times.
30 years old, first-round pick for Seattle in 2003. And the Orioles have him locked up. They signed him to a 6-year, $85 million contract in May of 2012. Looked like a lot of money then, but now it's a bargain. Swing and a miss. That changeup has been so effective for Sabathia.
One thing that tells you about the strikeouts, all 5 of them are on the swing and the miss. And this pitch, once again, diving down and away to a right-handed hitter. He's had a good feel for that on a chilly night.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis 0 for 2. Popped to second and popped to short. 3 infielders on the right side. And the 1-0. Right in on the hands, fouled away off the roof of the Oriole dugout. Orioles made a big-time commitment to Davis. He's also 30, a 5th-round pick for Texas. And in January of this year, 7 years, $161 million. Biggest contract ever for the Orioles.
Yeah.
And it helps to be a big home run hitter and, more importantly, one of the favorites of the owner. Peter Angelos kind of handled these negotiations himself. The 1-2.
Tried to get him to chase, he wouldn't do it. Now, one thing that did happen during those negotiations, Dan Duquette made the trade for Mark Trumbo, thinking that Davis was not going to come back, but actually what it did, it put pressure on Davis to take the offer, and he did.
And the final move by the Orioles that really made him pull the trigger on the offer was, they went after Yoenis Cespedes and made an offer.
Yeah, there was a couple of things going to happen in there.
And Davis said, I better take this because I might not get 161 from someone else.
Yeah, Trumbo was going to be his replacement at first base. Instead, Trumbo, well, tonight he's the DH, but he also plays right field.
I mean, they thought they were not going to get Davis back, and they didn't think there was any way they'd get Wieters back. They offered him the qualifying offer, and he took it. No one before this year had ever taken a qualifying offer. He did. Colby Rasmus did as well.
And I think there was one other player who I can't get. Qualifying offers up there at $15.8 million now.
And Davis works a walk.
And when Rasmus took the qualifying offer from Houston, he became the highest paid player on the team.
I think the other guy was a pitcher on the Dodgers. Brett Anderson. Wow. Yeah. Here's Mark Trumbo. Trumbo 1 for 2, struck out, and then single to right center. And the Yankee bullpen getting busy. There's a pitch count where the Yankees really start to follow Sabathia closely. It's 85.
And that's where he is right now.
There's Kirby Yates. The Yankee bullpen will get a little deeper on Monday. That's when Aroldis Chapman will be activated from his suspension.
Did you say deeper or faster?
Both. So Chapman has been keeping in shape in Tampa while he serves the suspension for violating the domestic violence policy of Major League Baseball. And he'll make his Yankee debut, or he'll be eligible to, on Monday at the stadium. Grounded to Gregorius. There's one on to first. It's a double play. Third double play induced by CC Sabathia, who has pitched very, very well tonight. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. We go to the 7th in Baltimore. It's the Orioles 3 and the Yankees leading 3-0 over the O's. Updated episode of Yankeeography, Bernie Williams, and relive the beloved center fielder's career in pinstripes. Plus, see special footage from Bernie Williams' day at the stadium last season and get personal reflections from the man himself. That's Friday at 11. It's right here on Yes.
Burn, baby, burn.
All right, we go to the 7th inning. Yankees lead 3-0 on the GMC scoreboard. And the Orioles will go to their bullpen. TJ McFarland comes on.
This will be his 8th appearance, and he's done a pretty good job. The whole Oriole bullpen's done a pretty good job so far this season.
And the pitch to Gregorius is a strike.
McFarland was a Rule 5 draft pick of Baltimore. You go back 4 years ago now. Got him from Cleveland.
Grounded up the middle. Scope backhand, sets, fires.
Oh.
Just got Didi. He took a little bit too much time there, and Didi almost beat out a routine ground ball.
Are they going to check it? They got him. Barely.
Good night for David Rackley, the first base ump.
Another bang bang play over there at first base.
Here's Headley, 0 for 2 from the left side against Wilson. Now goes to the right side, and McFarland starts him off with a strike. Up the middle, backhanded by Scope. 2 down. Now here's the igniter for the Yankees tonight. Jacoby Ellsbury, 2 for 2, a walk, 2 stolen bases. Scored the Yankees' first run of the 3 in the 6th inning.
He and Gardner have been on base 4 times between the two of them, and both of them have scored a run. And that's what the Yankees are looking for from these two guys at the top of the order.
Ground ball to first off the glove of Davis, fielded by Scope, and he flips to McFarland, not in time. We'll see how they score that.
What do you got, Michael?
A hit.
You got a hit?
So does the official score.
All right. Ellsbury will take it. He's 3 for 3 with a walk. Off the glove of Davis. And by the time Scope can corral it, McFarland wasn't on the bag anyway, and Ellsbury's safe.
We'll see if Ellsbury could run against the lefty McFarland.
Try and build another run.
We are in the 7th. The Yankees lead the O's 3-0.
Looking at the leg kick of McFarland, is fairly high. Ellsbury's reading all of these signs from a left-handed pitcher to see when he might think about going to second. Let's see if he employs the slide step here. Nope. Tony Pena comes over and talks to Ellsbury. He's probably giving him the time from hand to mitt. And if that time is within the parameters of where Ellsbury thinks he can make it, he might go. It's just a matter of whether McFarland throws at first base or not.
One and two. Gardner with 20 hits and 80 at bats so far this year. Good for 250. And tonight 1 for 3, single and a run scored. Yankees 3 runs on 5 hits. The Orioles no runs on 6 hits against CC. Tapped, back to the mound. And that will do it here in the 7th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5. Time for the stretch. 3-0 Yanks. Changeup has been his weapon today. He really has been using it with great efficacy. And we'll take a look at some of the stuff he's done tonight.
Yeah, they were talking about the changeup back in the studio, and you're getting a good look at it here. That was a little cutter in on the hands, another double play. There have been 3 turned behind CC tonight. And high fastball, picks up a strikeout. Good changeup. 5 strikeouts and a couple of walks for CC Sabathia tonight.
All right, so CC comes out to pitch the 7th, and Nolan Reimold will lead off. Yankees will probably go batter to batter. GMC scoreboard 3-0 Yanks. And the pitch is high, so trying to get him through this inning and then get it to Dellin Betances.
I see a tall figure getting up in the Yankee bullpen.
Two and 0. There's a strike.
Some of the umpires here thought that ball was low. CC got the call.
Popped up. Teixeira makes the play, 1 away. So Yates has been throwing, and now Betances joins him.
Doesn't it look like Yates is standing in a hole?
Ellen is pretty tall,
Yeah,
6'8".
6'8".
Wears it on his back.
Yeah.
There's Jonathan Scope, 1 for 2. The lefty deals. Strike.
I'll tell you what, tonight he's mixed his pitches well. The breaking ball's been very effective. The changeup has been superb, and the fastball's been fast enough. Good job by McCann to frame that one, hold it up just there so Chris Guccione could see it.
There's that pitch. 1-2.
It's not only he's gotten it to a good spot down and away from the righties. He's sold it very well. The same motion, the same arm speed, and it looks like a fastball coming out of the hand, but it's they're looking for the express and they're getting the local.
Grounded left side, fielded by Gregorius, sets and fires. They get scope for the second out. So they sit down one pitcher and they keep another one up.
I think if he gets Joseph out here for the third out, they might leave him in to force Buck Showalter's hand with Flaherty leading off the next inning.
Count 0-1 to Joseph. Well, Yates was up there if you needed to get more than one out.
That's true, but when I look at the Orioles bench and they've got Matt Dweeder's a switch hitter, you're probably not going to use him, and the other two are left-handed hitters. So Buck Showalter's kind of in a corner here. If he can get Joseph out, Flaherty's going to lead off next inning. No matter who's pitching for the Yankees. He does have kind of an infield move with Pedro Alvarez, who has played some third base. Good pitch. Breaking ball drops in. McCann calls it, and he's been throwing it. The dot and then drop into the zone.
CC has 98 wins as a Yankee, has 98 pitches tonight. And here's number 99. Swing and a miss. CC Sabathia has stepped up big. The Yankees trying to break a 6-game losing streak, and their big left-hander has thrown a 7-inning shutout. he faces. He finishes with a flourish. This replay brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here.
Yeah, finishes in with a breaking ball and the strikeout number 6 for CC Sabathia. What do they say? He has more strikeouts than any visiting pitcher here in Baltimore. That's 121 the Orioles that he has struck out in his career in this ballpark. And a good hug from his battery mate.
Carlos Beltran leads off against TJ McFarland. And there's a strike. Hyundai scoreboard, 3-0 Yanks. We're in the 8th. Oh, 2. Beltran had a sac fly in the 6th inning for the Yankees' first run. Looked like there would be a play at home, but Adam Jones kind of double clutched and never made the throw. Eventually just flipped it into second.
Do you think he cheated you out of a call?
Not about me, Ken.
I mean, you know, I was kind of on the edge of my seat, and all of a sudden, hey, what happened here?
I think the Yankees will take the
any way they can.
least amount of stress. Grounded foul. We'll give you the Yankees' 6th inning. That's the only run scoring in the game. Headley struck out. Ellsbury singled to right, then stole second. Gardner singled to center. Dylan Bundy's up to move Ellsbury to third. That one is driven into left center field. That's going to be trouble. It is in the gap and up against the wall. As Beltran starts off the 8th inning by belting a double.
Double number 4 on the season. This one got in the gap in a hurry. No chance for Reimold. He was in the retrieving mode as soon as this was hit. The Yankees in the tack-on portion of the ball game, trying to tack on some insurance runs.
Finishing up the scoring for the Yankees, and Beltran hits a medium-range fly ball to Adam Jones. That scores Ellsbury. Then a walk to Teixeira. Then an RBI single by McCann. And then Castro hits a roller in front of the plate. Wilson picks it up and throws it past Davis, allowing the 3rd run to score. Here's Teixeira. And there's a strike from McFarland. One and one.
Teixeira's drawn a couple of walks tonight and scored a run. He's among the league leaders in base on balls. So even though he came in hitting .217, his on-base percentage is up, and also it shows you he's still getting a lot of respect from pitchers who are afraid to come towards the middle of the plate.
Two and two on Teixeira. 0 for 1 with 2 walks.
That was a changeup that he just fouled off.
Look at it. Skips rope to get out of the way. Orioles won last night 4-1. Yankees have lost 6 in a row, trying to snap that. Get back to winning ways. Crowd of 15,998 here in Camden Yards. And Teixeira walks for the 3rd time tonight. First and second, nobody out for the Yanks.
There was a base open. I don't think McFarland wanted to have much to do with them with a left-handed hitter coming up next. And that's why McFarland's still in the game. This might be his last hitter, because you got the right-handed hitting Castro on deck.
Nice pick there by Caleb Joseph.
As Michael's talking about, threw a lawn dart up there, and a good backhand pick by Joseph. With McCann hitting, he probably appreciated the effort.
Ooh, rat foul.
Look out, Tony. Tony Pena had to scramble. Still some quickness there. Coming in his direction.
That one is a fair ball inside first and down the right field line. Beltran rounds third. He'll score. The ball gets away from Rickard. Teixeira is being waved home. The throw is way high. Yankees lead 5-0. Moving to third is McCann.
Well, Joey Rickard in right field had problems coming up with this one, and that's why Joe Espada waved Teixeira home. And that picked up the extra run. This is going to be it for McFarland. He's out of the game. Somehow McCann kept that ball fair down the first baseline, and it's going to bounce around, get past Rickard, and that's where Teixeira came into play at home plate. The throw goes to Scope, whose relay is high, and the Yankees score a couple more runs.
Double, 2 ribbies, moves to third on the throw. Yankees lead 5-0, and the O's go to the pen. Finale here at Camden Yards. Coverage will start at 6 with Audi batting practice today and the Chevy pregame. Then we're back to call all the action as the Yankees take on the Orioles, only on Yes, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Dylan Bundy is a new Orioles pitcher, former #1 draft pick. in 2011 out of Owasso High School. 7 games, 9 innings, 11 hits, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
Bundy, highly heralded #1 draft pick, but was quickly injured, had to undergo Tommy John surgery.
And the O's bring the infield halfway. Halfway because McCann now blessed with speed at third. Hit sharply and backhanded by Machado. Fires to first and a scoop by Davis as McCann holds.
Oh, you were right. If they were fully in, that ball would have been in the left field for a base hit. Back a bit, and you're right, because the ball's hit hard, and McCann couldn't have scored anyway. Couldn't get it through the hole. Machado showing off his range and now showing off his arm. Good scoop by Davis on the other end. And let's see what the Orioles do here with Hicks up and 1 out. They're going to play about the same way, about halfway.
Swing and a miss, changeup.
Backed it up again with another one.
So Dylan Bundy pitched on April 6, 2016. It had been 4 years since he pitched in the big leagues, 1,292 days. So his recovery from that surgery did not go as quickly and smoothly as others. Last year, right shoulder injury to go along with the Tommy John surgery.
They said Hicks went. It was close. And third base umpire Alfonso Marquez said he went around far enough.
Blocked there by Joseph. Yankees lead 5-0. We're in the 8th. Bundy trying to get out of a jam. Runner at third base, nobody out. And the 1-0. There's a base hit to left center field for Gregorius. Scoring is McCann. It's an RBI single for the Yankees shortstop, and the Yankees have a 6-0 lead. And the Yankees have scored 6 runs. You can go to papajohns.com tomorrow to receive 50% off the regular menu price of all pizzas online with promo code Yankees6.
2-out RBI single. Bundy was almost out of the woods, getting a ground out and a strikeout, but got that one right in the middle where Gregorius can handle it. Now the Yankees are up by 6.
There's Headley, and hit sharply and past Machado and into left field. That'll be a base hit for Headley. Moving to second is Gregorius. Kind of knuckled out there and misplayed by Machado.
Yankees now with 9 hits in the game. Looked like this one just faded underneath his glove. Just when he reached for it, he couldn't get it. Just out of his reach. And Headley has his first hit of the night.
Now that completes the line. on McFarland. He gives up 3 runs in 1+ innings. Now the runners on base are Bundy's responsibility. Here's Ellsbury. 3 for 3, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and a run scored. Count 2-0. Three and 0.
The Yankees been able to put 4 hits together in this inning. In their other scoring inning, they put 3 hits together.
3-0. And a perfect night for Ellsbury. 3 for 3 with 2 walks, and the bases are loaded for Gardner, the Yankees' 9th batter to come to the plate.
So the Yankees have had 7 of their 9 hits in 2 innings, and that's usually means some run scoring. Another 2-out hit could be like the cherry on the top of a sundae right here.
Long conversation on the phone by Showalter. And a strike. One and 1 on Gardner. Gardner's 1 for 4 tonight. Single and a run scored. One and 2.
Now, when you're looking to break away from a losing streak, it's usually the starting pitcher who sets the tone. And CC Sabathia was in trouble certain times during the night, but he got 3 double plays turned behind him. His defense helped him out and kept Baltimore off the board. And as I said, the Yankee offense big time in 2 innings. The 6th and now here in the 8th.
Now back to the screen. And the 1-2. Still 1 and 2.
We've seen Gardner have extended at bats over the years by spoiling tough pitches till he gets something he could hit pretty hard somewhere. That pitch was in on his hands. He spoiled it.
Two and 2. And the pitch. Well, that'll start the merry-go-round. 3 and 2, 2 outs, bases loaded. 3 runs already in for the Yankees. Top of the 8th, they lead 6-0. So Bundy laboring here in relief of McFarland. And the 3-2.
Look out.
Hit him. That'll force in a run. And the Yankees lead 7-0 as Gardner taking his time going to first.
It was a hit by pitch last year that caused Gardner a lot of problems, along with running into a wall in the wild card game. Looked like he took that one near the elbow. It couldn't have felt good, even with the run batted in. He's got a guard on the elbow, but oh, it looked like it was got a piece of the guard and a piece of the bone. And he's going to be checked on down at first base.
Athletic trainer Stevie Donahue checking out Gardner. I think he'd be in a lot more pain if he didn't have the guard.
Or the run batted in.
No, that helps. But it would have been flush right on the elbow if not for the guard. I think the guard is a very light guard. It's not really a heavy catcher's sort of guard.
The funny bone is in that area. Sometimes you lose feeling. Get that pins and needles feeling in your hand. And looks like Gardy's going to be okay. Well, let's hope he is. Sometimes those things can swell up overnight. I'm sure he'll get some treatment, some ice on it after the ball game.
7-0 Yankees, and here is Beltran. Started this with a double to open up the inning. And Bundy having a hard time throwing strikes. Count 1-0. Brian Mattis heating up. 1-1. Missed outside, 2-1. 4 runs in for the Yankees. It's 7-0. Nubbed in front of the plate. Joseph will take the out, and that will do it. But the Yankees score 4 runs. They leave the bases loaded, but an outburst for the Bombers. It's 7-0. after the final out for the WB Mason postgame for a complete recap of all the action from here at Camden Yards. Plus, get interviews from the key players and the manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame, and that's only on Yes. Well, no matter how many runs the Yankees score, and it's important because they've had trouble scoring runs all year. You see the Hyundai scoreboard, they're up 7-0. The star of this game has to be CC Sabathia. He stepped up big when they needed zeros on the board. For a team that can't score runs, the pitcher can't give up a run because then they start to think, how do we make that up? So he wiggled out of jams, 7 shutout innings for Sabathia. Now he turns it over to Kirby Yates, who will be appearing in his 10th game.
Well, the Yankees batted around last inning, and as I looked through my scorebook here, I think the last time they batted around was April the 6th. They scored 6 runs in the first inning against Colin McHugh. Remember that game?
Yeah.
He worked a third of an inning, 6 runs on 3 hits. It was kind of wild. He walked a bunch of batters that inning, and so did Phillies, who came in out of the bullpen. And also the 4th game of the season against the Tigers in Detroit, they batted around in the 4th inning.
Flaherty pops it up and out of play.
I wasn't in Detroit, you were. It was a little too cold for my taste to go to Detroit that early in the season.
Well, we're going back. They got rained out, so if you want to come. The Sunday night game got rained out. Yeah. They have not made up a date yet. The 1-1.
It's kind of snowed out, wasn't it?
Pretty much,
yeah.
Yes.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. So with the 7-run lead, they move away from Betances, and they'll try to get through this with their second-tier relievers. No offense to Yates, but they want to save Betances and Miller for tight games.
Well, Yates worked last night. He worked a scoreless 7th inning, got 3 ground ball outs.
Count 3-2. And the payoff. Grounded foul. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him. Flaherty down on strikes. 1 away here in the 8th.
High fastball put him away from Yates. Might have got a piece of it, but I think he did. Foul tip it into the glove. And 1 down.
Here's Joey Rickard. 1 for 3. Had a bunt single toward third. That was in the 3rd. Count 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Likes to throw that high riding fastball.
Driven the other way, and that'll be out of play. Series finale is tomorrow night. We'll have it right here on Yes. It's going to be Masahiro Tanaka against Kevin Gausman. And Tanaka's pitched very well, has just one win to show for it. And our coverage begins at 6 on Yes. Be here. First pitch right around 7:05. 1-2. Now the Yankees haven't won this game yet, but this is a big win if they get it. They lose A-Rod, who gets on the 15-day DL. And he's a power producer, a run producer who's starting to get a swing down. You could sink further into a funk, or you could band together and say, let's get this done. And they have 7 runs on the board, which is an outburst for this team this year.
Got to remember, this is basically the same team that had the second most runs in baseball last year. So you had to figure that eventually they'll start scoring.
And a walk, which you do not want to do with a 7-0 lead. So Rickard works a walk, and that brings up Machado. Here's Manny Machado. He is 1 for 3 tonight. The 1 extended his hitting streak to 6 straight.
He's already had a 16-game hitting streak. That was last month in April. Player of the month in the American League for April.
Foul back.
You look at the middle infielders, Gregorius and Castro. They're kind of in double play depth, but they're a little bit deeper because now they're in a mode where you just want to make sure of one. Give yourself a little bit more range side to side, so you come up with maybe a hard hit ball or something that's headed for the hole, and you can get at least one at second base. Get a force. Usually in a double play situation in a tighter ball game, they're up a little closer. They want to get that double play, get the ball quickly.
Line drive. That is a base hit down the left field line. Rickard will go to third, and Machado coasting to second with another double.
Man, he's a good hitter. He's off to a great start this year. This is his 13th double of the year. See, right over Headley's head, headed for the corner, cut off by Gardner. 13 doubles already.
McCann will go out and talk with Yates. And Dellin Betances, they're not taking any chances.
With that 13th double, Machado takes over the league lead in doubles. One more than Jose Altuve.
Adam Jones takes inside.
Well, Joe Girardi's well aware they get into the explosive part of the Baltimore lineup here.
Two and 0. Now the Yankees added an arm in the bullpen. If you joined us late, A-Rod went on the DL with a hamstring injury. And the Yankees did not replace him with a position player. They replaced him with a lefty reliever, James Pazos. the 2-0. There's a strike.
Went to the slider. 2 balls and no strikes. In years past, Jones has been known to chase that slider down and away. Instead, it was a fastball almost down the middle.
Three and 2 on Jones. And he walked the bases loaded. So it's not going to happen easy for the Yankees as they're up 7-0, but the Orioles have loaded the bases with just 1 out here in the 8th inning, and that brings up Chris Davis. You see Mike Harkey with his hat up, that Betances is ready, and Girardi is not taking any chances. So Kirby Yates will depart. Dellin Betances will inherit bases loaded, 1 out. Stick around. We go back to Texas on April 25th. Brett Nicholas, breaking ball, gone. First run allowed. Then we go to April 29th, Poppy, breaking ball into the seats over the Green Monster. Then on May 1st, a fastball, Christian Vasquez just crushes it. So up to this road trip, Dellin Betances seemed unhittable, absolutely unhittable. And this will show you how unhittable he was. First 9 games, 9 innings, no earned runs, 22 strikeouts and 2 walks. Last 3 games, 2 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 home runs, 4 earned runs, no walks and 2 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .364 against him. So there was some thought, Kenny, that maybe he's tipping his pitches. Now, the pitch to Ortiz was not a great pitch.
No, it wasn't.
Because it was breaking ball up. He had plenty of time to see it and was expecting a breaking ball. But Vasquez did turn around a pretty good fastball.
Yeah, well, it was kind of towards the middle of the plate, and As I've said many times before, big league hitters, if they're looking for the heat and they get it right down the middle, they can turn it around. He put a good swing on it.
So it'll be Betances against Chris Davis. Obviously, Davis has great power. 0 for 2 with a walk. 7-0 Yankees. Bottom of the 8th inning. And he drops the breaking ball in for strike. So it looked like time to kick back the feet, put him on the ottoman, eat some chips, but now it's nail biting time, as the Yankees have to go to Betances in the 8th. There's a strike. So 2 straight breaking balls, and the count 0-2 on Davis.
Yeah, see if you can get Davis to chase something here, get himself out.
And the 0-2. Strike 3. Got him. Clips the outside corner. A big strikeout of Davis, who does not like the call of Chris Guccione.
Never took the bat off his shoulder. And we'll take a look at it.
Looked a little low.
It looked a little low and maybe a little outside, but it was close enough for Chris Guccione. Yeah. Maybe one of the seams caught the outside corner. Yeah, it might be too close to take with 2 strikes.
Here's Mark Trumbo. And he goes to the fastball. Betances does. A swing and a miss. Betances has handled his recent struggles beautifully. Takes total blame. He said, I lost 2 games in Boston by myself, and I've got to be better. He's not an excuse maker. He's not that sort of guy. The 0-1. 1-1. Not a good job by Kirby Yates with a 7-0 lead. If you could save your big guns tonight, well, then you can use them tomorrow. The Yankees are in a stretch now where they play 20 straight games without a day off.
Yeah, he's throwing strikes. That's the deal. And he walked 2 guys.
One. Popped up. Left side. Headley in foul territory. And Betances bounces back and gets the job done. And the Orioles will strand 3. So he picks up Yates. We'll go to the 9th. 7-0 Yankees. Let's check out the Land Rover drive to the game.
Yeah, Brian McCann has a big night for the Yankees. Let's go to the 6th inning, and this base hit going to make it 2-0 Yankees. Solid single. He was not finished. In the 8th, This double down the right field line. Ripped into the corner. 2 Yankees score. Brian McCann has driven in 3 of the 7 Yankee runs.
So the Yankee offense showing some life. And now pitching Mike Wright. And that turns Teixeira around to the left side. Teixeira's walked 3 times tonight. This will be Wright's 5th game.
This is his 5th game, but it's his first appearance out of the bullpen. He's been starting.
7-0 Yankees. They have 9 hits. The Orioles have 7. Check swing, foul back. And the 0-2. Nice catch by Guccione. Solid. And the 1-2. There's a base hit for Teixeira.
Been on base 4 times. That's the Yankees' 10th hit in the game. Always felt if you could, the offense could put 10 hits on the board, take your chances in a ball game.
Here's Brian McCann. Kenny told you about his drives of the game. He has 3 ribbies, driving in 3 of the 7. 3 infielders on the right side. They're not holding Teixeira on. And a strike. Jason Shreve up for the Yanks as they try to not go to Andrew Miller. Crowd of just under 16,000 at Oriole Park. And the count 1-2 on McCann. .282, 3 homers, and 10 runs batted in. Grounded up the middle. Machado, 1. On to first, it's a double play. Another 6-5-3 double play. As Flaherty took the toss, 2 away.
I'll tell you, both teams have traveled down DP Boulevard tonight. The Yankees have hit into 2. The Orioles have hit into 3.
Here's Sterling Castro. Castro is 0 for 4 tonight. He did reach on a throwing error by the pitcher Tyler Wilson in the 6th inning that allowed the Yankees' 3rd run to score. And a strike. Oh, 2. And the pitch. Grounded right side. Fielded by Davis. Flips to right. And that'll do it for the Yankees in the 9th. No runs, a hit, no errors. And because of the double play, nobody left. Chase and Shreve will come on to try to get the final 3 outs to the bottom of the 9th. That a game apiece turned tomorrow into the rubber game. And Chase and Shreve will take over. 4th pitcher, CC Sabathia, really pitched very well. 7 shutout innings. Kirby Yates struggled in the 8th, forcing the Yankees to bring in Betances, who got out of a jam. Bases loaded. 1 out, didn't allow a run. And now Shreve in his 11th game. Got some changes in the outfield as Hicks goes to left. And Ackley goes to right. Maybe they're giving Gardner some time to get treatment on the elbow where he got hit. We'll find out from Meredith on the post-game show coming up with Bob and Jack. Got to stay tuned for that. It's only right. The Yankees trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. They have 3 more outs to go. They're up 7-0, and Shreve will face Reimold. And a strike from the left-hander.
If the Yankees hold on, win this one, CC Sabathia would get his 19th career win against Baltimore.
And his 99th Yankee win.
Yeah, that's true.
One and one. You know, one thing with Alex going on the DL, Kenny, you realize how reliable and sturdy he was last year, where he played 151 games. Yeah. So just by being on the DL for 15 games, he can't reach that number again. And he's already missed a couple of games anyway with the oblique issue. So in his 39-40 season, rock solid. Now in his 40-41 season, he's on the DL.
I think the Yankees are going to rest him a bit more this year, but I didn't think they want to do it in this manner. Yeah. Joe Girardi would find spots more like a Sunday after a Saturday night game.
Two. Foul back by Reimold. Now, when he had a couple of days off because of the oblique, he came back and actually looked very, very good. So maybe this gives the body a rest. Obviously, it does, and we'll see how he responds. I don't know how much you could keep your swing in shape, Kenny, with a hamstring issue.
Yeah, hamstrings can be tricky and delicate. You don't want to be moving around. The whole thing is to get the rest and the treatment.
Swing and a miss. Reimold down on strikes.
Nine Orioles have struck out tonight. 6 by Sabathia, 1 each by Yates, Betances, and now Shreve.
Here's Scope. And a strike. Scope is 1 for 3. He doubled. That came in the 5th inning against CC. In fact, that inning might have been the big inning. Yankees hadn't scored. Orioles had first and third, 1 man out. And CC strikes out Rickard and then gets Machado to hit a P that stayed up there long enough for Ellsbury to make the catch. And CC seemed determined to not let the Orioles score until the Yankees did. And then the next inning, the Yankees picked up 3 and kind of loosened the noose a bit. So if the Yankees could hold on, CC will pick up his 2nd win against 2 losses.
Yeah, even his record.
One and 2.
Scope is another hitter much in the same manner as Adam Jones. He does not walk very often. Looking to swing the lumber. So from time to time he will leave the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. He did there.
Yep. Good split change struck him out.
And the O's are down to their final out.
There's certain hitters that just can't seem to go more than 1 or 2 pitches without swinging the bat. Very aggressive. Split change. He chases it. Shows you the importance of a changeup, Michael. We saw it from Sabathia. You see it here from Shreve. They both have good movement on those pitches tonight, on that particular pitch tonight. And these Oriole hitters are very aggressive hitting team.
Here's Caleb Joseph. Grounded foul. And the Yankees are a strike away. 0-2 on Joseph, who's 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Yankees 3 runs in the 6th, 4 runs in the 8th, leading 7-0, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. And the pitch. Just missed.
Well, it kind of sets up the split change, trying to hit the inside corner, fat just inside, but it does set up his split change up, down and away.
And the pitch. Up and away, 2-2. And the pitch. Up the middle, right there is Castro, and the Yankees have ended their 6-game losing streak with a 7-0 victory over the